Alright, so how y'all doing, boys? Hope you're doing well. Now in today's video, we finally have back the Tower of Disaster. I mean, if you guys don't know, the old school Tower of Trials is by far my favorite PvE content that's ever been in the game, and Tower of Trials is kind of just like a less rewarding, easier version of it. So super happy to be seeing this back. Unfortunately, we're not going to get any of the, old school Tower of Trials unless something changes in the future, but with the way it's looking, we're not going to get any. But what team are we using? Gonna use this team here mainly because I've been having heaps of fun with Brunhilde at the moment. If you don't know what her passive is, we'll quickly have a look at it here. But I mean, doing the Hasvelga raid a bunch, I've just been using her a lot, but increases all the hero's basic stats by 12% for every surviving ally, increase the stats of the hero by 8% when an ally dies. So extremely good. Unfortunately, it doesn't apply in PvE or like the PvP or deathmatch, but it'll apply here, so why not? I mean, usually we do like to use our like full AoE hero team with like the Halloween Roxy and the the Arthur that came out with the PvE Arthur that came out with Escanor, and who do we use in the middle? And Escanor, yes. So usually we're using that team, but I figured, I mean, it's definitely not an AoE team. It's gonna take us a little while to do these earlier stages, but that's whatever. That's nothing really. But if you guys haven't actually tuned into any of my Tower of Trials or Tower of Disaster videos before, basically we just go through these first couple stages, just talk about Grand Cross stuff. I basically just ramble. Talk about Grand Cross stuff, talk about YouTube stuff, anime, etc. And once we've talked about it for a few times, once I've really talked about everything that needs to be said, we go on and we kind of just do like the final extra stages and cut to them. But yeah, these first stages are usually pretty easy, usually just stuff you'd auto. I remember definitely before recording, I would just put them on auto until we got to the final stages. But a change that I actually did make a little while ago is you used to have to keep the same team for the next fight, until the next boss. So if you say, beat a stage with a full human team, for example, you'd have to use that until you go up to the next boss and beat that boss, and then you could change teams again. But they've made it so you can change teams every floor now, which is definitely better for lower level players. You can kind of at the same time, you probably don't have every unit in the game built, or at least most of them, so it could be hard, but you can definitely switch around teams and make it easier for yourself if something's not going right, or you have type disadvantage. But yeah, no, by far the best PvE content. I'm definitely we haven't been really getting a lot of final bosses as of recent, and even when we do, they're usually the legend difficulty variants, and I just feel as if the legend difficulty isn't what it should have been. It is awfully disappointing for the first content in the game that's actually been given the title of legend difficulty. It is an absolute cakewalk. Don't get me wrong, for some lower players it could definitely be hard just because of the CC requirement, but other than that, I mean, you should be fine. It's not that much more difficult than hell. But Brunhilde, I was expecting it to actually hit a little bit harder in this, but wow, really? Okay, it looks like we might be changing up the team a little bit sooner than later. Only reason I was looking to use her is because if you guys have been playing Grand Cross and you can actually finish the Hasvelga raid, it is literally all you do day in, day out. Personally, I've actually just gotten enough materials to get my first Holy Relic, so do expect that soon. I'm going to be getting it for Twiggo, and it's been way too long since we've used the Barn team. When they do eventually release the bundles for purchase, I might bite the bullet and actually buy one and get it for Barn as well, just due to the fact he's my favourite Sin, and I'm a pretty big fan of how he's played. Unfortunately didn't get him 6/6 in our original summons, but hopefully he comes around again sometime soon. But definitely keen to get that for Twiggo. He is probably to this day, just how much stronger he makes the team, probably the best Holy Relic. If I were recommending Holy Relics to get at the moment, I'd probably say hold on to your materials, especially if you're not looking to buy the bundle. Actually saving them and getting for a unit that'll help you do the raid is probably ideal. Let's say if they give one to Gotha or something, makes you heal more when you're debuffed, and it's something super crazy like that is ideal to actually help you get those materials more often. But I did actually do a guide to stage 1 on the channel. If you guys haven't checked that out, by all means go check it out. I talk over the stage and whatnot, and at the time, I did delay the videos a couple of days from when it released, mainly because I was just wanting to actually I easily could have just got all the information and regurgitated basically what I'd read and whatnot, but I actually wanted to give it a fair few attempts so I could have like my own opinion on it, and that's what I did. I've definitely had enough attempts now on it to like have like a solid win rate against the first stage. That second one could be a little bit difficult, also just depending on how you go in the first one. I mean, it is so RNG dependent that like if you can't beat it, there is no stress. It is by far the most difficult content in the game. Like there is nothing that comes near it. But yeah, there's really no stress. I mean, if Holy Relics aren't something you can get now, like you're only going to be seeing Holy Relics in like a very end game PvP. In PvE, like there's none that have really been like, you know, there's no real use for them in PvE at the moment. Like PvE isn't competitive enough, and like for stuff like Final Boss, it's going to be those same people punching like the top 100 list. You know, they're whales and they're going to have it regardless. Like it's going to be the same people in like the same brackets everywhere. It's more just for PvP, in which case, yeah, I'd still recommend save it for a unit that helps you do it. Unless something like stupid broken comes out. Like they did release the 1 Escanors, which was extremely disappointed. If they had to change the 30% defense stats to defense related, he'd be cracked. But I'm guessing that the only reason they made it bad is because they released it so early. But it's whatever. I've just been grinding that like absolutely crazy, and I was thinking of actually trying to do a live stream on it one afternoon maybe. We'll see how we go, but if you guys like to tune into that as well, by all means let me know. I just feel like, yeah, just being able to chill and do it, because like it can get extremely boring. Like half the time I'm just sitting there watching YouTube and just clicking. Like it's so RNG dependent and it's so like luck based that you really don't have like, there's nothing like in guides, there's no like where I can just be like, oh yes, use this team and do this and you be good. Like you'll be good. Like throw that out the window. There's no way. And that was actually a lot of health back. I mean, yeah, I will definitely do a stage 2 guide, you know, sometime in the near future. I'd like to be able to beat stage 3. I actually haven't even attempted. I've gotten to it with max health, but I just figured it was way too far out of reach. And like with how much I, you know, I'm gonna say struggle. It's not like impossible. Like I've definitely done it a couple times, but with how much I struggle with the second stage, it would take me way too long to get the third stage done, whether or not I can do it at all. But it's whatever. We'll wait and see. You know, power creep happens in every game and we'll get around to it. But here we go. First boss on the 5th stage, normal Lily. We've still got the 25 stages. I was just making sure. I'm actually super glad this came out as well, because I have been struggling for Super Awakening coins. As you guys know, Super Awakening 6 just came out, and I did so many units and didn't think that we were getting like a duo banner in a couple days. So new Eastern and Mono came out, and I was like, oh gosh, I have to like use my hourglasses and like, you know, actually grind Super Awakening coins to get them Super Awakening 6. And at the moment I only have Mono done, and I was hoping from this here I could actually get, you know, those final couple like, you know, Super Awakening coins I need. It's so expensive. Like you think like from stage 5 to stage 6, you know, it's the, what is it? I think it's like 18 coins if you don't have like them SA6, so you don't get like the discount. But it is just so expensive, and like just going from 1 to 6 is the main thing. Like from 5 to 6 is fine, but just to think you have to do every unit is where like you really put into consideration. Like every unit is like over 60 Super Awakening coins, and it just gets so out of hand. But I mean, before like actually doing all the units and like with the 100 free Super Awakening coins they gave us, I did have around like 300 Super. So we got like a fair majority of, you know, the units actually done. If you guys are actually wondering what units I have done, on the channel we recently had a 300 subscriber like thank you video. I basically do like a whole account to it. They're running over like my item box, my units, my history playing the game. And I mean, whilst we're on the topic, thank you guys so much. At the point of recording this video, I think we're on like 331 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. Like, I mean, I know I said all of this in the last video, but yeah, it's you deserve it. But let's go. We'll check out these cards here. I'm keen to see. It's like when using her in the raid, half the time when you're using her, the boss has like this Merlin passive where you can only do 30% damage. And it's gotten to the point where like, I remember in the final phase where you need like the power strike cards, you do 256,642 damage. That's like the max cap you can do, which like just shows how much like I've ran the stage. Like it is so insane, and it's whatever. Like I love seeing her without like a damage cap on her, because like she can hit such good numbers, and I definitely need to change some of her attack rolls to crit chance, because as you saw on that last one there, 0 crits from her, and she has such a good crit damage multiplier that like she's definitely a unit you want to get, like, you know, with those crit chance rolls. Wouldn't exactly recommend making her a crit damage gear set. Definitely still stick with the attack, you know, crit, but yeah, no, wouldn't make her a crit chance by any means. And see, I actually really like the look of this stage. Here we go, 1 and 2, but there is actually a heap of stuff they've added with this new 7 Catastrophes update that I will be doing guides on. This, of course, this one, I still need to do one on the 3 7 Catastrophe bosses. Obviously, 2 of them are, you know, reruns of old bosses, but do need to do one on the Eastern, which is actually a lot easier than I expected. She has like a passive where, like, you know, humans do less damage, and her being red, obviously, you think instantly, oh yeah, let's just chuck the one on, but they tried negating that. But if you literally choose like a rank up rush team with like the Danafor Liz and use Escanor, and like you both use a buffer, you can still 2-turn the raid. Like, I don't know, Escanor is just so crazy. Units like Escanor and units like Elizabeth, I just find at the time of like their release, they're both so powerful, but in saying that, like, they're festivals, they're meant to be. But as you can see there, when we get crits with her, she's insane, and that's on like a weaker detonate card. Look at that, 600,000 damage off a 1-star. Tell me another unit that can do that. That's off like a 1-star Breath of Bless. She is insane, but super fun unit. I mean, if you guys are looking to summon, actually, you're like, you know, deciding on whether or not you should summon on the Mono Eastern banner or the, how have I forgotten her name? Brunhild Ragnarok Diane banner. Would definitely recommend the Brunhild one, mainly just cost of the use she has on the bird. I mean, like, Mono and Eastern don't really have any use anywhere, and neither does Diane. Like, they're all kind of PvP units, but I would say Diane is, the fact that she's a Margaret counter gives her a lot of use in PvP. And Brunhild being the best unit for the most difficult content in the game instantly gives her a whole bunch of use. Like, would I recommend summoning it all at the moment? Probably not. With the 40 million or 50 million download celebration just around the corner, with that, we're getting Festival Gotha. I definitely recommend saving. I mean, Festival Gotha definitely isn't a must-have, but it being a festival character, you generally want to save. And, you know, we have been told that there are slime collabs, and, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of other exciting stuff around the corner, but none of these banners have, like, insane use. Like, none of them are must summons. Margaret, when she came out, was a must summon. Same with Barn. I'd even say Assault Melee and Festival Zell just weren't must summons. A must summon is like a super high up term. Like Margaret, Barn, Halloween Gotha even. Halloween Gotha's banner was a little bit scuffed, but I do remember they came out with like the Halloween Roxy and Halloween... Why can't I remember? I might actually just use the AoE cards here. The Halloween... What's his name? Shin. The Halloween Shin. Probably not the best banner to summon, and Halloween Gotha has come back on a fair few banners, but they always put Halloween Gotha on the worst banners just to try and suffice. Like, oh look, he's here, like, you know, and almost thinks that'll make us like guaranteed summon on it, but it's whatever. I do remember they actually released a bundle on the JP version where you could get like a free Halloween Gotha dupe. I do believe that's how it worked, if I remember. I know they definitely did one of that for Lost Vein, but that was absolutely ages ago now. But no, I mean, these first few stages have been pretty easy. I feel like it being Tower of Disaster, this whole thing's going to be pretty easy, but I mean, what's something else we can talk about? The actual channel itself has been doing really, really good. I know I said before, thank you guys, but the amount of growth we've had has just been absolutely amazing. And I was really hoping, I know I say this a lot, but I was really hoping to do double updates for like the beginning of updates. Double uploads, sorry, for the beginning of updates. That way I can get like, you know, the guides out, the summons, and like, you know, the first showcases of each unit. But once again, I was just like super busy. The maintenance got extended, and where I am, you know, I usually have to record my videos pretty late in the afternoon just due to the fact that the maintenance finishes. So I usually get enough time to like record, edit, and upload one video. But yeah, no, I just had heaps of stuff to do that afternoon. So we got the summon video out at least, which is a plus, but at the moment, yeah, that's the only real video I've recorded. I did get halfway through recording the Mono video, which, her PvP video, which you probably think is, why would you record half the video? But, I don't know, just kept getting interrupted and whatnot. But does he have a revive mechanic? They do too. That's annoying. As you can see here though, there's no like shortage of damage. If she gets the crits, she is bizarrely strong. I really wish they had made a passive work in PvP. It should definitely be like a top 3 unit in the game if it did work in like PvP and deathmatch. I still even use her in the Belmoth raid, even though her passive doesn't work. Do take, like, you know, do keep in mind that, you know, I do it on normal difficulty just because I like being able to chuck it in the corner and put it on auto. I've heard things about hell just being way too difficult to do with randoms, but let's see. I mean, with the 40 million download celebration just around the corner, I could not be more hyped for Gotha. I mean, like, I have all the gems prepared and whatnot, but we'll just have to see. I mean, with what they've done to, like, the actual, they made a fair few, like, changes to the game in that update. One of the big ones is actually removing festivals from festival bans. Like, yes, there is still the, are we not getting 5? Okay, no, okay, this is stage 9. Scared me there. We are, of course, still getting, like, the Gotha there, but no secondary units, and they're adding to, like, them to this secondary banner, which is getting updates every month. Like, they're getting rerun, and just not a good decision. Like, you know, I'm sure if you guys keep up with Grey and Cross, you've heard all about it, but it's just, it's not a good idea at all. It's not a good idea at all, and it's making the game even harder for free-to-play players, which, like, I personally, like, you know, I spend the money, I get all the units, it's not affecting me, but, like, the free-to-play players are majority of any game at all, and I think you should always be aiming to please them more than the people that spend heaps of money. Like, I know they're the ones that rake in your money, but if there's no, like, you should always aim to please the majority. That's just how it works. Like, even if it is a bad decision, I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know, a lot of global players aren't really worrying about it at the moment, but I'm sure when it comes over, there'll be, like, you know, the outburst which we expected. But I really feel as if I probably shouldn't have used Brunhold in this one. We're mainly just using Margaret to absolutely clean all these stages, but yeah, no, if you guys do, of course, I mean, I'm looking to make as many showcases for the mod on Eastern as possible. If you guys have any team recommendations, by all means let me know. I'm really looking forward to doing as many showcases as possible with that mono, but there we go. Finish attack. I mean, this Tower of Disaster is actually taking longer than expected. I mean, maybe it's because I'm using this, you know, not just, you know, spam easy one turn everything's, like, you know, teams, but it's whatever. And here we go, stage 10. One thing I actually did read in one of my comments is, I didn't even realize it, but someone said you said a lot, and I was like, okay, this probably isn't like a bad thing, you know, just constructive criticism. And I listened to one of my, like, you know, one of my recordings, and maybe it was because I was paying such close attention to it, but I was like, oh my god, that is really bad. Like, I'm surprised I didn't pick up on it either. Like, usually I pick up on most of the stuff I say. Like, I definitely do have, you know, a couple words that come out funny, just, you know, rambling on in my head, but it was really bad. So I've tried thinking about that a little bit more. There we go, I just said it right there. Like, it's just such a thing that happens so, like, naturally, and it's probably just in me thinking of, like, what I'm gonna say next. Just like gives myself time to rebuild like my next sentence and whatnot, but that was actually a lot of damage there. And I said it again, this is just some crazy loophole, but let's see, we should be able to finish, as long as there's no revives on the goblins, we should be able to finish this stage off just with the Margaret cards. But I mean, yeah, this one, I feel as if there's not as much to say this time around. Like, we've talked about, like, the new update we've had for global. On JP, other than, like, the festival Gotha, like, they didn't get a crazy amount of PvE content. We've not had any, like, new content come to the game. There's been no crazy leaks or anything. Like, there has been some cool stuff on the like the data mine things that, like, Regents does and all that, which, you know, is always getting changed, and, like, everything there is, like, none of it is set in stone. At one point we thought Arthur was going to be a festival, and then he just ended up becoming the Excalibur Arthur we got before Festival Barn, so stuff changes a bunch. But, like, they've talked about, like, a new Demon Meliodas and such, which would be, like, really, really cool. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I've been playing a whole bunch. Like, the Hasbelga raid takes up so much of my spare time, but other than that, I mean, I've actually also been getting into Dokkan quite a bit. I've been spending more money on Dokkan than I probably should be. I played the global version. I've played since probably around, like, halfway through year 2, and I mean, yeah, we just had the, if you guys play Dokkan, we had, like, the, was it 350 million download celebration, and we had, like, a Gokon free as it came out. I spent several hundreds. It's rather embarrassing trying to get both of those, and we just had a new Gohan release, and I actually got him like first multi or whatnot, so really happy with that. If you guys would like to see like a video, maybe where like I do a 7 deadly, like half of the video is 7 deadly summons and I get to like my 600 or 1000 gems, and then we swap over to Dokkan, maybe around like New Year's or something when there's like a banner that draws in a lot of attention, let me know, because I'd definitely be interested in doing that. And I definitely have a couple of friends that play Dokkan as well, so if you guys would like to see maybe just me doing like duo summons with them. I obviously do summons on 7 deadly and they do it on Dokkan, but I mean, yeah, there's definitely like a lot of ideas on what I want to do with the channel. One of them, of course, being the face cam. I was definitely like leaning towards wanting to get like a new microphone first. I feel as if the audio quality in like a video is like a really big thing, but as I've leant towards it more, and like the more I've paid attention to like creators and what mics they have, I've really like not noticed. Like sometimes I can notice it, but sometimes I look at their mics and like they still sound extremely good. And like listening to your own videos, I know sometimes stuff just goes over your head, just thinking like, just in like the creative process, you're always like negative against it, but it's just gone over my head. So I'm hoping my audio quality is fairly good, but I was really looking to get a new mic, but now that time's gone on, I've thought about it, I think I might just bite the bullet and get the face cam first. Probably within the next like 2 months, I hope. Saving up for that whilst also paying for all like the summons and 7 deadly and whatnot. Definitely keen. Actually, something that'll also be happening in the next month is we should be getting the Halloween stuff for 7 deadly. So the Halloween growth might actually get delayed. Because usually like last year for 7 deadly since JP, I believe they had their Halloween update on the 7th, or at least like the first one, and the second one was more like I do believe the second one was like the second half, sorry, was where they had like all of like their events and whatnot release. But yeah, no, it's the 6th of October already, and well, at least at the time we're recording this, and maybe by the time this is out, you know, we'll have, you know, more stuff and like, you know, leaks on what's been happening with, apparently we're getting a Matrona as like one of the Halloween units, so not the crazy amount of interest in a Halloween Matrona, but we'll see. I could imagine they're not just going to give us a Matrona. Maybe that's more of like a free-to-play unit, because we did actually get the free-to-play Halloween Gila last time, which has an absolutely sick costume. I'm a real big fan, but we'll just have to see. I'm also really keen to see on what they do for Christmas and New Year's, because obviously, actually, do we have any Christmas units? No, we have the Gold Wings Elaine, actually, who's a Christmas unit. But other than that, I don't think we have any. Yeah, no, I'd like to see what they do for Christmas and for New Year's again. Obviously, last New Year's, we got like the Meliodas, Elizabeth, and Jericho, like the ones where they're on their winter suits. But other than that, I mean, yeah, look, gacha games always do such good like seasonal celebrations, so we'll just have to wait and see. But still going through these stages fairly slow, I feel. I mean, our starting turn consisting of 2 buff cards and an AoE probably isn't the smartest idea either. Probably would have been better off using like a Barn, Kyo, Arthur team and just like spamming AoE cards, but it's whatever. I mean, is there anything else I really want to talk about? Just trying to think. I mean, yeah, look, we might actually just go ahead after this one and actually skip to all the boss fights and running through those. I mean, I'm sure that I'll discuss all the main points of interest have been discussed, so I mean, yeah, I still have to do like all the guides and whatnot of everything in this update, and I'm really curious on how like they have this voting thing that's out at the moment, which I'll have to look into a little bit more, but yeah, no, do definitely expect videos on that. I might even try and see if I can get double uploads in all of the next couple of days, just to try and get content out as fast as possible. I feel as if though, like, you know, making Grand Cross content is definitely like sometimes a bit you beat me to it thing. Like, you know, so many content creators do double uploads, and like, I feel kind of behind on the fact that I can't, but it's whatever. It's just my circumstances. So, let's see. I mean, that's some really nice card draw. Hopefully we can finish everything off with this Margaret AoE, but, you know, do expect a bunch of new, you know, growth and whatnot, future stuff for the channel. Expect me to try and stop saying so much is another thing. And, yeah, I mean, that just about does it. We'll finish this stage off here, and I believe we still have to do the stage 15 boss, so I'll catch you on that one. Here we go, let's see, it's stage 15 now. I don't actually remember. I feel like, yeah, seeing this like actual stage, like the loading screen for this stage, I do believe this is a rerun of the old version, which, I mean, definitely difficulty-wise, you can see like 150,000 CC. I mean, if you're in top levels of PvP, you're seeing above 300,000 like consistently. So, definitely still like, you know, lower difficulty. I'd like to see them, you know, ramp up the difficulty. I mean, on the new Tower of Trials, you know, there is definitely some insanely difficult stages. If you guys actually need help with any of the new Tower of Trials stages, I do of course have videos, all of them. Go check them out if you need any assistance. Also, if you like comment on any of the videos and need help with like team building or anything, I'm always there to help out. But let's see, I mean, yeah, like you can see we're gonna stomp this pretty quick. I'm hoping I can actually save the single target for Shin and see how much damage we can do. I'm just a real big fan of this Brunhilde at the end of the day. I feel like I've said it so many times in this video, but it can't be said enough. I really wish I could have made more PvP videos on her as well. I feel as if though most like the really fun units are like restricted to their one team and whatnot. Whereas like when Margaret got released, obviously being like a team leader and being like the best unit in the game, you know, you could use it like, you were more using units with her in a sense. Like you could just chuck anything with her and it worked. So got plenty of, you know, showcase that with Margaret, but there we go. That was actually a lot faster than expected. All right, and something I actually noticed, Grand Cross actually crashed whilst I was grinding some of the lower stages, but I had to go into it, and this whole event is called Tower of Disaster Returns. So yes, that does answer what I was saying before, and this is a rerun, because yeah, these stages all look awfully familiar, but I'm surprised that actually the CC isn't going up a lot more with like the difficulty. It's whatever. I mean, I definitely like to see them do more with like the 7 catastrophe characters. I think the most recent one we've got, like in terms of like new character, is probably the Awakened Lilia. Because like I know we've gotten like extra versions of the Summer Roxy in that, and like we've got other versions of the character, and we've obviously got a new version of the East in this update, along with the new Mono. But in terms of actual new characters, I mean, I know they're trying to push the whole like Ragnarok thing a lot more, which I'm definitely a lot more excited for Ragnarok than I am for the 7 catastrophes thing. But yeah, I reckon it's interesting. Like I kind of knew they weren't going to be like the main, like obviously Grand Cross couldn't just follow 7 Deadly. Like it's not a big enough of a series to make like a 5-year gacha out of or whatever. So like it was inevitable that they kind of, you know, branched off and made their own thing. It being called 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, it was going to happen eventually. But Ragnarok is definitely the kind of feeling like they shouldn't have enough story with the 7 catastrophe units, and it was just too early on in the lifespan. Like it just felt funny. But there we go, onto stage 25, I think it is. Here we go, and the final stage 25. I mean, the only sad thing about actually finishing these towers is just knowing how long it'll be until you get it back. Like I was surprised we even got another Tower of Disaster. Like I could imagine if like they'll most likely give us another one, but I can imagine it won't be a rerun on the next one. Like I feel as if they'll spice it up, or even better actually, if they were to give us like a Ragnarok version of a Ragnarok version of Tower of Trials, I reckon that'd be absolutely sick. Like the amount of potential they have for Ragnarok is just ridiculous, and like I suppose that's where most of the hype came from when the actual like initial like trailer got released and whatnot. Like just the ideas and like the kind of fact that they like made what, like the amount of ideas and like stuff you could do was like infinite at that point. Like you weren't like tying yourself to like the 7 Deadly Sins story or any characters. Like it was all just free reign, which I find is so cool. But as we've actually gotten further into these, and the fact that we're not just like, you know, using like single AoE cards and just one-tapping everything, Brunhilde has been doing a lot more work. So definitely if you're struggling on some like these harder stages, would definitely recommend giving her a go. Like she's been hitting like 1 million damage on like some of her ultimates in this, which is really good. Like just seeing her uncapped from like the bird raid is ridiculous, and like seeing her actually crit as well is really nice. But there we go, stage 25 done. Finally all these nice Super Awakening coins that all mine. But there we go, 10 Super Awakening coins there. I mean, don't they usually give you, I swear in the original Tower of Trials they only gave you 7, or was it 15? I swear I remember it being 7, but I do remember the regular one being more rewarding. So there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I mean, I certainly did. I love the Tower of Trials, and I love PvE content in games. It is 7 Deadly is very PvP based, but definitely they do some good PvE content. But I mean, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please hit like button, subscribe. Really means a lot to me, and I'll see you guys for some more Grand Cross content.